As parents, we strive to do what's best for our children. But there are times when we cause unintentional harm. And this video is about preventing unintentional harm. 5 things that you should never say to your children. And I'm not speaking here about the obvious things like don't tell a child that they'll ever amount to anything in life, or never tell a child that they're stupid, because many of us as good parents, we already know this. So if you have listened to other videos like this on YouTube that tells you the obvious, this is not one. This is about the things that we say that are well-intentioned but nevertheless cause psychological damage. The first thing that you should never say to a child is that they are smart. When you tell a child that they are smart, being smart becomes part of their identity. And so they go through life expecting that everything should come easy. Research done by Carol Dweck of the Stanford University says that when we praise children for being smart earlier on in life, when they run into challenges later on where things do not come easy, they tend to give up more easily than other children. Instead, it is suggested that you praise a child for his or her effort. Praise children for the effort they have put in, for paying attention in class, because you see, as you do this, this is something that the child is more likely to be able to control. But you cannot control being smart. It's either you have it or you don't have it. The second thing that you should never say to a child is what's wrong with you. When a child misbehaves and you say what's wrong with you, the message you are sending is that there is something essentially and intrinsically wrong with that child. Instead, correct the child for the behavior. It is wrong to hit your little brother. It is wrong to skip class. But do not say what's wrong with you. The third thing that we say that damages children is when we say, why can't you be like so and so? Why can't you be like your brother? Why can't you be like your sister? Or maybe it's a cousin or a neighbor's kids. When you compare children unfavorably to others, you are sending the message to that child that they are somehow defective, that they can't be themselves, they can't be unique, but they need to be like someone else. So don't be surprised when that child goes out in this world and start feeling inferior, when they can't see themselves being in that promotion that's been offered at their workplace, or when they cannot see themselves applying for certain university courses, because what they're getting from that message is that I am not as good as others. And the fourth thing that we should never say to a child is, why don't you use the brain that God gives you? We have a way of telling children that they're stupid, and we do it in many different forms. So when we say things like that, why can't you use the brain that God gives you? Or this is easy, why can't you get it? You are sending the message nonetheless that they are stupid. And when you send a message to a child that they're stupid, it affects their self-esteem. They begin to give up without trying, and they begin to go through life feeling that they are somehow defective mentally compared to others. And the fifth and final thing that we should never do or say to a child is to say, stop crying, be a big boy, or stop crying, be a big girl. And we say this to little kids, even before they're toddlers. We start telling them that they need to stop crying, that they need to be big. And the message that you're sending to children there is that somehow if you are crying, you are not acting appropriately. You're teaching children to suppress their feelings and their emotions. And what happens when emotions and feelings are suppressed? That it leads to things like depression, anxiety, anger outburst, OCD, and other things, because you see that emotion that you're teaching them to suppress doesn't just disappear like that. It has to come out somewhere. So there you have it, 5 things that you should never say to your children. If you can identify with anything that you have heard here today, whether from the perspective of a child or as a parent, remember to leave a comment below. And also, if you like this video and you think it has been helpful to you, remember to share it to a friend. And hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when we post more content like this one. Thank you so much for listening.